together with Factorville Bible Church and some others, and the school here as well, to North Carolina. We had a good time in Shawanoa, near the Cove. Trip down was uneventful. Lord gave us safety going down.
6 months later still, pretty impressive how much damage is still present down there. We first drove down I-40 in eastern Tennessee along the Pigeon River, one of the places that made the news with significant damage along the interstate.
Oh my word. Goodness, look at that. Look at the cliffside on here, the right side.
There is still quite a bit of rebuild that is taking place along the interstate. We kind of drove down that highway and took a look at it as we went towards Asheville.
We were in Asheville, North Carolina, and that is the location of the Billy Graham Training Center, a place called the Cove, and it's a conference center. And because the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association works hand in hand providing chaplains to Samaritan's Purse at the disaster relief sites, they opened their facility up to us.
We've gone into the Cove and we were just awestruck by just the beauty and splendor of God's creation in the wood. They emphasized a lot on it was not normal that we would be staying at the hotel.
It was kind of like being at a conference where you work all day and then you're surrounded by godly people in just a wonderful environment for the whole week. And I don't know how anybody could come home from this without being blessed.
All right, Will, we made it. How do you feel?
Good.
Great. Mr. Rowland, how do you feel?
Glad to be here.
Good. Leonard, how do you
I
feel?
need more caffeine.
How do you feel, Jeff?
Feeling great.
Tom, we made it. You almost stumbled. How do you feel?
We're good.
Good. Caleb, how do you feel?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Chloe, how do you feel? Elnora, how do you feel?
Pretty good.
That's a lot of steps.
How do you feel?
Tired.
Our first work day was on Monday, and we went out to this house. It was being built from the ground up.
We kind of divided into two groups. Our group, we went to a rebuild. Another group went to do some repair work inside of a house that was left behind from a flood. They did a bunch of mudding and drywall.
So basically we had to put trusses up, and then we put OSB on it, and then we had to tape all the seams and all that good stuff. Basically prepping it out for the roofer.
And we were also able to install a few windows. We also did a few small things here and there inside the house itself as we started to prepare for more stuff coming in.
And as it turns out, we had Dwayne Green with us, who's a contractor type guy, and they immediately put him with some people on the new construction.
So Dwayne, what are we doing here?
So we're getting ready to put in nailers from the drywall. It's going to go in between the truss and stick out, so we got some screw the drywall to. We need to do this in around all the windows.
So Caden, what do we got you doing over here? We also had some people out there that worked with us. They were very helpful. They provided a lot of good instruction into some of the new things that even I didn't know. I do not have much experience with construction. Being able to work with Dave and Rob in that setting, and them being able to teach me how to use different tools and how to implement different strategies was pretty nice.
So we had met Danielle the first day, and she was a really great person to work under. She taught you how to do things and how to do them right, and in the shortest amount of time that she could.
So we did a lot of drywall, which personally I don't have a lot of experience in it, so it was very much of a learning experience for me.
So all we had to do was basically mud, tape, prime, and paint. Well, I did a mud specifically around a certain pipe that my dad did not want to do. He just gives all the difficult jobs to me.
Hello, how's it going? Hey guys. Good to be here. Hi guys. Hello. How's it going in here?
So some of what we're doing is fixing little bubbles that were already here when we got here, and we're trying to get it so that we can, if it's bubbled in the tape, if it's coming out, we cut the tape and pull it out. If it's not, we're trying to feather so that there's an imperceptibility of what's taking place as far as whether they can see if there was a rise at the seam or not.
Gotcha. I see.
We were able, by God's grace, to take it from, in some places, hanging all the way through to the painting stage.
So we worked on a house that was on Roland Road, and Mr. Roland ended up working on that house too, which they had to do drywall, which he does drywall as a career. So that was very ionic, like very spontaneous.
I've seen this happen over and over again where God places the right people on the team at the right time.
We were asked, like early on, day one, is God using you or is he working on you? I was definitely being used. We had a project manager that just kind of the week before got thrown into this project and was really, really overwhelmed with what was going on. God definitely used me to be able to go in and recognize different things that was going on in the house that weren't finished. There were some things that were missed and we were able to accomplish getting those done.
All that tree from the flood?
Yeah.
Wow. Day 2, how do you feel?
I feel cold.
Cold. Lyndon, day 2, how do you feel?
Cold.
Yep, it's pretty cold out here right now. Tuesday, me and 2 of the other guys that were a part of it, we went to a different site.
We did more of like a disaster relief, and I feel like I like that a lot more. So we just took stuff and threw it in a dumpster, and that was fun.
This tree snapped probably during the hurricane 6 months ago, destroyed this house. Now it's left to the basement, and that's what we're clearing out right now. So far, so good. Still got a little ways to go.
I mean, they're going to build a house, and supposedly they're going to build a house on top of this. Hello?
A tool of ancient times. Just kidding.
I don't think it works.
An old telly?
Oh,
Well,
it's because it's not plugged in.
yeah, that would help.
Can you break it?
Oh, you got it! Let's go, Will. Our boss there, his name was Mike. He was pretty great guy, and we had a chance to, after we got done, we were waiting for a dumpster to arrive. So we sat down together and we just talked about life, talked about some things that we were struggling with, which is pretty cool to just have those random conversations. And I feel like those conversations are best when they're unplanned because you're not expecting to say anything.
Being with other Christian workers it like built you up.
Everybody was there to work together, and they all were there to ultimately glorify God. It wasn't as much about building a house as it was about the fellowship, about teaching, about building up younger generations. The electricians and stuff, they would stop what they were doing, to talk. One of them actually stopped and prayed with me, and then I actually prayed for him too. Although we were there to get the job done, or to make progress, that wasn't his priority.
One of these leaders and one of these students, they came from the exact same background, and they were really able to support the student with some of the things that they were going through.
She just had a heart for the Lord, and she knew how to talk to people really well. And we had gone to that group member, and we had just talked and talked and talked and talked. You could see Jesus, God speaking through her, and it was just incredible.
We also got to meet some other people, some people that were working with construction that were driving by. One's name was Sandusky. We got a chance to pray with him also while we were eating lunch. We were just sitting there eating lunch, and Sandusky comes around and just starts talking with us about his life and what he plans to do. And so we got a chance to pray with him also.
In multiple places we stopped, people came up to us, whether to share something with us or to interact about what Samaritan's Purse was doing. And it was really neat to see the open doors of interaction, the very gracious spirit that people had, particularly towards people in orange shirts that said Samaritan's Purse.
People in Western North Carolina are really recognizing this right here on the shirts. And I mean, Samaritan's Purse has had a huge, presence out in Western North Carolina and Tennessee for over the past 6 months, ever since Helene. And people are starting to recognize that and see just the work that's being done. And people want to talk to people with orange shirts on. You never know where God's going to lead you. All right, we got 2 hours to get to the overlook. Lyndon, you think we're going to make it?
No.
Well, what do you think?
We might.
We might. I think we can. I'm determined. Tuesday, we got back early from our work out on that basement. Well, I got Will and Lyndon around and was like, hey, we should go and hike this trail. We can definitely get it done before dinner. Although it said it was a 4-hour hike, we were planning on doing it in 2 hours, which we did. Success.
Warning, very steep grade.
hazardous edge, single lane, no turnouts, 4-wheel drive required. This is why the van would not make it up this hill.
It was a taxing hike going up those steep hills, going up all of those different curves. And I mean, definitely something the van wasn't going to go up at all. We considered taking the van up there, but everyone knows what happened last time with me in a van on a tight trail. And we're not going to do that again.
Looking for my friend the black bear. Check this out. The old spring. Getting on the top side of this hill or the other side. Significant tree damage still remains here. Likely from Helene.
On the way up there, they had Bible verses that we stopped by and we read through.
Romans 10:17.
So faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ.
I think faith comes through hiking too. Here it is. Cedar Cliff overlook. Oh my word. Holy smokes. This is wild. All right, Lyndon, how do you feel after the hike? Will?
It's worth it. It was good.
It's good? You can see the flood damage from here.
Everything looks so small. The roads were so small, the cars traveling, and the planes were landing in Asheville. You could see them kind of flying into the airport behind the hill.
Great view. Loved pushing myself that day. It was very painful, like very sore after that, but it was worth it.
After we ate dinner, a group of us took the van and decided to go through Asheville to find an overlook. And I had one on the GPS and I was like, yeah, that's probably gonna be a good one to go to. It turns out that that overlook was a gated community. And the trek down was interesting.
In a quarter mile, sharp left onto College Street.
Sharp left, huh? How sharp of a left is that?
It's pretty cute. I'll get to the right, man. I'll
Yeah.
get to the right. You're gonna have to sharper than that. Keep going. You're good. You're good. You're golden.
I'm gonna make it.
You got it. You got it.
Somebody's coming.
Drift it. Drift it. Drift it. Drift it.
Somebody's coming.
Somebody's coming down the hill?
Those cars.
Okay, I'm gonna have to...
This one ain't gonna make it.
This one ain't gonna make it. We gotta back up.
Go backwards. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Ooh, nice bridge.
We're stuck. We gotta back up.
Continue straight onto South Beaumont Street.
I'm a good driver. Come on. Yes, that's true.
On the way back, we were able to see some of the damage from the storms in Asheville. And that, again, still rather eye-opening how much work still needs to be done out there.
Look at this.
This was gone.
This was wiped out. Oh my goodness.
Well, they got a little tiny house there.
There's not much.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a tiny house.
Uh-huh. Look at the damage. That dam is messed up. Wow.
I stopped seeing this. We were here last
Bridge is
time.
washed.
It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
You see this scene just all over the place. Green.
Yeah, I pushed all the debris, everything up there. Look at that.
Can you imagine?
Uh-huh. Imagine being in there. Or just watching it.
You could see where water lines had gone all the way to roof lines and had damage all the way up into trusses. Cars that were damaged significantly had mud still in them. They hadn't been dealt with because the damage was significant enough. It was probably easier for the person to just get a different vehicle rather than deal with the car that's mud-filled and windows busted out. Many folks, you could tell they had to function in an unusual manner. Logs still across driveways whereby you're still trying to get out, so you have to go across the gully, probably 4x4 type of deal, or some other way to get in and out. And then sections of hillsides that were, you could just see all the trees that had been laid down by mudslides. So much of that as you travel down there.
It's pretty stunning just how much there still is to do down there. So again, this rebuild is gonna last for the next 3 to 5 years. So if you have some time just on your hands that you're able to go out and maybe work with Samaritan's Purse to go out and help these people rebuild their lives and rebuild their homes and just give them hope and help redirect their thinking back towards where their hope truly should be, I mean, do it.
Lightning bug. Day 3, how do you feel?
Half an hour
Good.
later.
Caden, how do you feel day 3?
Great.
Great. Jeff, how do you feel day 3?
Great.
How do you feel day 3?
We're all good.
Good.
We're good.
How do you feel day 3?
Great.
How do you feel day 3? Good. How do you feel day 3?
We're good.
Good. How do you feel day 3?
This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Yes, I love it. How do you feel day 3?
Awful. Tired.
Tired? Just tired? How do you feel day 3?
I think we're being blessed.
Yes. Yeah, we got great volunteers around us too.
Thank you for the sunshine coming out again, Lord, even though it looks like clouds this morning. And just thank you for everything getting accomplished, to just be able to build this home. But Lord, may we focus more importantly on the eternal home of those we come in contact with today. That we will just be devoted servants of you, that will love each other well. And I just pray that you bless this food and nourish our bodies.
Here at our work site, there's a bear and 2 cubs out here. Let's go take a look at them. Oh, look at that little guy. Look at that guy. Aw.
Thursday, we worked on the house and we were working on actually the plans for a back deck. We were digging holes and laying a bunch of concrete.
Thursday, Amy came by and gave her testimony, and then we really truly understood the scope of what we were doing for who and how it came to be with they were getting their rebuild. This house was being built for Amy's parents, and we found out that Amy is a caregiver for Joanne, and Joanne is a former realtor, house flipper, that kind of thing. So she thinks that this project was being done for her. So every day she had to come check on the crew and bring us snacks and more snacks than any of us could eat. We couldn't even eat them all the way on the whole way home with all the teenagers. But we also found out that Amy was the caregiver for Billy Graham and his wife the last 15 years of their life. And she was by Billy Graham's side when he died. When the disaster struck, her parents' house got absolutely demolished.
I think it was, 2 or 3 days that she couldn't even get a hold of them. So she was she couldn't get down there, and she didn't know where they were at.
So she found herself in a state where it was almost just survival for her, just trying to keep up a good positive energy for Joanne and for her parents, but at night, she was just kind of breaking inside, not sure and know what to do. So Amy wasn't sure how she was gonna, come back from this or help, but she was in the backyard raking leaves, and she got a phone call directly from Franklin Graham. And Franklin asked her some questions about the house and found out about Mom and Dad's house being wrecked, and gave her the news that they're gonna be the first recipient of one of these homes.
Hearing that was, I guess, eye-opening to me, just because it kind of made it real, I guess. It wasn't, we were just there building a house. We were helping put their life back together. The amount of fear that you would have knowing you can't do anything. I don't know, just hearing her story and then just seeing ultimately how God used that to strengthen her.
The site was a elderly lady's house. Her name was Debbie, and her little dog Daisy.
So their driveway was very steep. The road was above them, and the driveway led right into the basement.
Both reservoirs broke, so at the same time, and the water had just gone through and swept right under her house. She thought the house was gonna collapse under her. It had just gone through her basement. It had blasted open the door and just her whole wall. They had to rebuild that.
The basement got flooded a couple feet, so they redid everything.
By the time we left, we had everything primed and painted, ready for the flooring, so the homeowner should be moving in probably late this week.
Her mom can now move in and live there. What Satan destroys can turn into God's glory. Her basement got flooded for a reason, so that her mom can move in there and actually have a home.
Christ can work in any and every situation. that someone has gone through. So that's why we need to take those opportunities. Those little opportunities to plant seeds will show them, hey, we are here because we want to invest into you and also help you bear the burdens that you are struggling with as a result of the damage that has occurred. And God will use you in those little ways just by you being there. If you're faithful in the smallest things, God will use those things, no matter what they may be. You don't have to be a Billy Graham in order to make a big difference.
What do you think about this place?
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
We are fortunate and blessed.
What do you think, Caleb?
Fancy.
Fancy. Oh, wow.
I texted our volunteer coordinator, Meg, saying, hey, what if we had share time in the chapel Thursday night? And it worked out that we were able to. And so we had share time down there, and then we spent some time sharing a few songs of worship. We shared our different things about the week, what we enjoyed, what we appreciated about the week. And then we also had the chance to worship. And that was such a cool opportunity to be able to worship in that chapel with all the volunteers.
Biggest thing really was just being able to work around godly men and women in that type of an environment.
It's easy to see how we might have been able to go down and bless, but the blessings we got in return, it's just really, we were blessed beyond what we were able to bless. And it always seems to go that way.
So I would say he's using me in areas where maybe I can be a blessing to somebody, or I can look outside myself to serve others or be a part of something that's bigger than just me.
God can do anything. God can do anything. You just have to have the smallest amount of faith.
Yep. Just like the chemistry classroom. Leonard, how do you feel? I just found the straightest road in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
On Friday, after our workday was done, we took a trip up to Grandfather Mountain.
So we didn't walk all the way up there. We drove most of the way.
That's not a boulder, it's a rock. Forrest Gump picnic area. Let's pull off here.
There's also a special little curve on Grandfather Mountain where Forrest Gump in his movie years and years ago, when he was running across America, he ran on this curve, and they called it our Forrest Gump curve, and so our students got to run Forrest Gump curve.
We all ran up that curve, and it was fun running up that as a group. Once we got to the top, you could just look for miles and miles. You could see just how small everything was. I was able to watch a storm develop right over Grandfather Mountain, which was absolutely awesome. You could probably ask some of the other people that were on the trip. It's like, man, that guy was pretty nerdy when it came to the weather. And I was like, yes, because it was so cool.
Wow, there's a storm forming behind the rocks here. Let's go check it out.
We had gone over this bridge, and we could just overlook all of the beautiful creation, and it's just incredible. Like, the cars were like so teeny tiny, like on the road and stuff, and it was just, wow, it was amazing. And the bridge was iffy, but like I liked the bridge too. That was cool.
Like doing that with a bunch of guys, that was fun. And then going on the trail, it was a lot of fun, like pushing yourself.
That's so cool. Got your inflow right there and your outflow on the backside. Kind of looks like it's spinning.
Can't believe this thing's forming right in front of me. Oh my goodness, this is awesome.
I mean, you're able to just see just all of that develop right in front of you over a vast open space that just goes for miles and miles. It's such a cool just thing to witness, and just to see God's creation.
We got to see the rainbow, which was the best rainbow I've ever seen.
Oh boy.
There's a pot of gold down there, boys.
There's a pot of gold, go get it. It might be Mamadas forming. Double, it's doubling.
Oh yes, that new double.
It's in a double. What an end to a week. All right, let's see you, Leonard.
Standing there and watching that and just remembering God's promise, ultimately that was a great reminder for me. Just seeing the vastness of what God's capable of. I'm just a little speck in comparison to what God is capable of. And if he's capable of that, then he can do anything. And so ultimately in that, the goal is just to glorify him and be used by him the best that we can.
We got to see a double rainbow at the end. It was fantastic. So overall, a blessed trip, and I think God blessed not only in the people interactions, the work accomplished, but just even at the end, kind of seeing his hand in nature and his power in it. We thank him for that.
If you go on a Samaritan first trip, it's the most amazing thing that's gonna happen. It changes a lot of perspective of how you look at things.
Like seeing the homeowners and like how much we're helping them, it's a lot to take in because like we are helping them so much.
I had found myself praying and reading my Bible more, and I could just see it in other people.
Get involved. Like, go get dirty. Ben repeated several times, sees every moment.
You can be any age, and as long as you're willing, they can put you to use.
A lot of the kids that went were young people, but I went with them, and it was really a great experience. You know, I'm no spring chicken here. I went down there. They just showed me how to do stuff. We may be older, but we still got life in us, folks. And so, as long as we're here, God wants to use us. Step out of your comfort zone. Take an adventure.
You'd want to go with an anticipatory spirit, that you want God to work, that you'll be listening for what he has as you go, as you interact with the individuals you interact with.
Again, still, God will use you. You just have to be open and receptive to it. And I think if you are praying for guidance from him, he will show you the way, and he will give you that plan, like saying, hey, you may be living in this present moment now, but trust me, I will give you guidance. There is nothing else that is going to give you correct guidance, especially from you. Because again, the Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. That's not what's going to give you the correct guidance in life. Let Scripture be your guide. Let Christ be your guide. Seek God's word. Get into God's word. Seek the source, okay? Don't just think that it's the strength of your faith, but rather it's you directing yourself towards the source of that faith, and that is Jesus Christ. It's God that gives the increase in these things that we do. And he just uses you as a, I guess, vessel.
There's so much that needs to be done. And, you know, every time we come back from one of these trips, it feels like we're almost leaving a job left undone because there's so much that needs finished.
Yeah, it's like, behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, so lift your voice, hear Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes.
I haven't seen that.
Yes.
Can you send me that video?
I will send that to you. Yep.
Yes.